a beef or two, short ones, want to throw out, because this isn't your show and because this is our show, what where you can say anything and we don't care. Is there a beef that you might have that you would not talk about on your show because of the because you want people to like you and we're just idiots?
I mean, I think I've talked about some of my beefs on the show. I mean, I think one beef that I've talked about is why is it so freaking hard to get a reliable phosphate, test result from the phosphate test kit? Why is it so freaking hard? I mean, and it's been explained to me, but why hasn't somebody like invented something where you could actually, have confidence in the numbers that you're getting from a test kit? I mean, I've used the Hannah Checkers, I've used the Milwaukee test kit. Now I've got a Hawk test kit that seems pretty darn good. But I had a situation where I had my test kits were reading 0 phosphates. I was like, oh, I've got to like start dosing a lot of phosphate because I've got 0 phosphates according to these test kits. And then I get an ICP test back, and I was like, what the hell? I mean, it's like 0.2, 0.15 in terms of the phosphate reading that I was getting on the tank. So, I was dosing a shitload of phosphate on the into the tank, and a couple of my corals like browned out, which I'm pretty sure was due to the high phosphate that I was just dosing into that tank.
And what were you testing with?
I think at that point I was using a Milwaukee test kit. I can't remember the name of it, but
shit, man.
Yeah. So why is it so tough to get a phosphate test kit that could actually?
I'll tell you, I hate all testing now. I because going down the rabbit hole of trying to get a consistent test, there's a problem with every test kit. So I might be moving away from the Hawk DR9 890 and just trying checkers for a little while, because that's gets me on the playing field of what everyone else kind of is doing. And I can't use the titration because I don't see the color well enough. So that always just made me really angry. But now there might be a problem. I got to follow up on it. There might be an issue with one of the tests on the Hawk that I'm using. So I just want, I don't even care what any of the numbers are, right? I just want it to be testing in a range reliably, a ballpark over repeatability rather than accuracy. But I'm with you, man.
I mean, years ago when I had my 225 gallon tank in Connecticut, which was a very successful tank, I think it was a Reef Central tank of the month. It was like chock full of corals, and I never tested for phosphate.
Right.
I never tested for magnesium. I tested for like alkalinity, calcium, nitrate, and the salinity and the temperature, and that was about it. I didn't, there was no ICP test back then, and just didn't really was on my radar.
I am so excited to see what of this pans out. Nitrate was the devil, and then RoaPhos became available, and then phosphate was the devil, and now every element is the devil. So I'm really interested to see in 10 years what actually, if anything falls out of that solution and really sticks. Because it's hilarious. Ben and I were talking about this the other day, that back to Kalkwasser, back to dirty tanks. Yeah. The cycle just churns around, and we pick up some things as it moves forward, but it's back to Barstow. But it's really interesting. It will be really interesting to see what sticks.